In 1946, Japan had a problem. Its cities were destroyed, its factories burned, and around the world, Japanese products had a reputation: cheap, low quality, unreliable. Two engineers believed that reputation could change. Their names were Masaru Ibuka and Akio Morita. Inside a damaged building in Tokyo, they opened a small workshop. Almost no money, almost no equipment. Just a belief that Japanese engineering could compete with the world. They called the company Tokyo Tsushin Kogyo. The name was complicated, the workshop was tiny, but the ambition was enormous. Their first products were simple: electrical adapters, tape recorders, even a rice cooker. Some failed completely. The rice cooker burned rice. But failure was part of the process, because Ibuka and Morita were not trying to build a normal company. They were trying to invent the future. In the early 1950s, they discovered a new technology developed in America: the transistor. Smaller than vacuum tubes, more reliable, more efficient. American companies used it for military equipment, but Sony imagined something different: portable electronics, devices people could carry everywhere. In 1955, the company released a small transistor radio, small enough to fit into a pocket. For the first time, music was no longer locked inside the home. Young people loved it. The radio became a global success, and suddenly the world began noticing something new. Japanese electronics were not cheap copies, they were innovative. The company soon adopted a new name: short, memorable, easy to pronounce. Sony, inspired by the Latin word sonus, meaning sound, and by the word sunny, meaning young. The message was clear: technology should feel modern, human, alive. Through the 1960s, Sony continued expanding. Televisions, tape recorders, audio equipment, each product pushing electronics forward. But the company's most revolutionary idea was still coming: an invention that would change how the world listens to music. In 1979, Sony introduced a device that many executives believed would fail: a small, portable cassette player. It could not record, it could only play music. To many people, this made no sense. Why buy a player that could not record? But the founders understood something important. People do not buy machines, they buy experiences. The device was called the Sony Walkman, and it transformed everyday life. Music was no longer a shared activity in a room. It became personal. People walked with music, ran with music, traveled with music. For the first time, the soundtrack of life belonged to the individual. The Walkman sold millions, and Sony became a global icon of innovation. But the company was only getting started. Sony expanded into film, into music production, into gaming. And in 1994, the company entered another industry: video games. Many analysts were skeptical. The market already had powerful competitors. But Sony approached gaming with the same philosophy that shaped its electronics: design, engineering, experience. The result was the Sony PlayStation. It became one of the most successful gaming consoles in history and transformed Sony into a global entertainment empire. From radios to music players, from televisions to gaming worlds. Sony did not just build electronics, it changed how people experience media, and it all began in a broken building in post-war Tokyo. Two founders, almost no money. Just a belief that innovation could rebuild a nation. And that belief changed technology forever. If you enjoy stories about the ideas that shaped the world's greatest brands, subscribe to the channel, because the next story is already waiting.